Jabulani Fakazi is from the National Housing Finance Corporation and joins us to expand on this. Jabulani, appreciate your time this afternoon. Now walk us through the revised housing program. How does it differ from its predecessor?
Well, good afternoon, Hugo, and the viewers. In essence, the elements of the program have not changed. What has been done, if I can just explain, when you say FLISP, Finance Linked Individual Subsidy Program, it does not immediately tell, the targeted market what the program is all about. So after doing some research, a new brand name actually came out of that process called First Home Finance. In essence, the program targets households who aspire to build their first homes. So this is a subsidy that is targeting households whose total monthly income is 3,501 up to 22,000 rand. And the subsidy amount, if I can just indicate up front, is that it is on a sliding scale. If a household earns an income, say, of 3,501, that household will qualify for full subsidy, which is 120,000. But the higher you earn, the lower the subsidy. So if you look at a household earning maximum of 22,000 rand per month, then the subsidy that they will qualify for will be 30,000 rand. And in essence, what is new about the policy as well is that whereas historically the subsidy was implemented with mortgage finance only, which is available in urban areas where title to land is available, it will now be also offered to households who want to build their homes in rural areas. I think if you look at the uptake of the program so far, it has been limited by the fact that it has been limited only, to people who are buying houses on the back of mortgage finance. But it is now wide open because, one, if you want to access an unsecured home loan finance, or what you normally call instrument housing finance, you will be able to access the subsidy and build wherever you wish, whether it's in a township or in a rural area. You can access a pension-back, housing loan and build wherever you wish. You can access also the subsidy to buy a stand, if you can afford to buy a stand now and then build later, because sometimes the affordability deny many of our people to have a complete house all at once. But now they can be able to access a subsidy and build a core house or buy a stand on which they will build in the future. So I think the options are now wide open, if I can indicate that, Hugo.
Now, Jabulani, this is the largest privately funded affordable housing development in the province and is expected to yield more than 22,000 housing opportunities. 22,000 sounds like a large number, but talk to us about the waiting list, the housing waiting list. How big is that when we juxtapose the 22,000 around that list?
Look, I'm not sure about 22,000. 22,000 rand is the maximum of the subsidy. But when you talk about people who want to access their first homes, talking about the backlog, I know that sometimes we talk about the backlog of 2 million or 3 million. That's across the country, because I think what I need to highlight is that this First Home Finance is a national program. We will implement it, or it is currently being implemented in all 9 provinces of South Africa, targeting, people who are citizens of this country, as well as, I would say, permanent residents who have, I would say, been approved by the Home Affairs and have an identification document to confirm that. But basically, the scope of this program is much wider. If you look at the fact that we are talking about a backlog of more than 2 million households. So we still have a long way to go. So I think that is why what needs to be appreciated from the ministers, approving that we basically rebrand this subsidy so that it talks directly, to the households that we are targeting, because they will then be prompted, to come to us or go to provinces and apply for this subsidy, because the subsidy is here to assist those people who really cannot, be able to build their first homes unassisted. So I think there's a huge market. It's a huge market.
Yeah, Jabulani, I don't want to take away from the work that you're doing and obviously the launch of this program, But when we talk about that housing list, I mean, it's a massive housing list where some people have been waiting for almost 30 years for a house. And 22,000 against 2 million seems like a drop in the ocean, if you will.
Well, if I may indicate, when you talk about the housing list, that will actually apply mainly to households who are applying for a BNG house, or RDP house as it is called, sometimes. But when it comes to the target market that we are focusing on, they may not be necessarily on the waiting list, but they may be applying for home loans, maybe getting, rejected because they can't qualify for home loans. We know that's a huge number, because we are talking about households earning between 3,501 up to 22,000. And we know that in this country, the household income levels are low. I think the majority of people who are working earn below 8,000. I think there are some, statistics that indicate that. So if those households are able to, reach us and be able to access this subsidy, and in fact also apply and qualify for a home loan, they can be able to start building their first homes. Maybe what I can also indicate that the program also allows that people who have saved, say, some amount, let's say you have saved 200,000 and now you want to build your home, you can apply for this subsidy first home finance as well. You will be able to be assisted so that you can add to the money that you have saved and be able to start building, your first home.
Now, we know that the Minister will also launch, or has launched, a new portal intended to simplify that application process for a large pool, obviously, of the intended beneficiaries. Now, how simple is that process of application?
Yeah. We're coming from the era when we were receiving applications via emails, or some actually applicants will walk into our office and drop their completed application forms and supporting documents. So in order to enable our target, clients to apply relatively much easier, we have created this portal, which actually the applicants can access in the comfort of their homes, say at whatever time that is suitable for them. It can be in the evening, they can sit down and basically go to the web browser, type firsthomefinance.co.za. That will take you to the NHFC page that is dedicated for this first home finance program. They will be able to go there, register, so that they can then log in, fill in the application online, upload supporting documents that are required, like the copy of an ID, and then they press the button, and then it goes. So, and then we have a team internally that will do a quality control check that the application is complete, and then it goes to the system, and then it proceeds, so that we do the necessary searches that are required in terms of policy, and then the outcomes come back, and then we give feedback, to the applicants. But what is important, Hugo, is that at each milestone of the process, the system sends an SMS to give an update to the applicant, the stage at which the process of the application is. So we find that this is going to be much, I would say, useful, to the applicants to know the status and get a quick feedback, I just need to highlight that that is the system that we are using. And then going forward, I know that we'll always try to improve, because idea is to enhance efficiencies so that the turnaround times actually can be greatly, enhanced. And because people, when they apply, they want to build now. So we need to basically make sure that the efficiencies are ingrained in the system so that the applicants can get a quick feedback and be able to proceed with their building process.
Jabulani Fakazi, appreciate your time this afternoon. You're watching Newsfeed PM Edition. Don't go away. We'll be right back.